Sometimes you gotta just come out and say it. Capitulation is here, now go buy stocks. Hey everybody, this is Luke Downey doing our latest insights at mapsignals.com. You wanna see outstanding research? Watch this video. So listen, we had one of the biggest explosions in volatility recently. The stock market is under pressure, but I've got some stats that tell you now is the time to be buying stocks. So let's kick this off. The first chart we wanna look at, S&P 500 actually pulled back peak to trough right around 10%. So we are in correction territory as of Monday's big sell-off. But here's what's interesting about that sell-off. We track what institutions are doing, the buys and the sells. This is what is critical. We saw capitulation on Monday. 374 stocks were sold. You can see that with this red line right here. Now, what's interesting about capitulation, and when you look at it through the lens of our data, prior times look very similar, right? So we've got 10 instances over the past couple of years when these red bars start to appear very briefly. You'll notice they aren't here forever. So what do you think you're supposed to do whenever you see capitulation? Well, stay with me to find out. So here's what's interesting and why we were telling our subscribers on Monday, you want to be buying this dip. Here are the forward returns after 370 or more stocks are sold since 2012. 44 instances over 12 years. Here's the really interesting and what you need to do. 3 months later, the S&P 500 is up 9% with an 82% win rate. 6 months later, it's up 13% with an 88% win rate. 12 months later, it's up 23.4%. These are market-beating average returns with 93% win rate. But if you're still not convinced, there were a couple of other capitulation signals that tell you to go buy stocks. So here's the first thing we want to highlight. The SIBO Volatility Index. It basically measures the price of options, S&P 500 options, near-term options. Okay, when this fear gauge spikes, like you're seeing right here, it's telling you that people are rushing to hedge. People are blowing out of stocks. People are dumping. They are forced selling. So here's what's crazy. The SIBO actually reached 65 early in the morning of Monday's sell-off. That's the highest level literally since the pandemic lows back in March of 2020. But here's what's interesting. After the dust settled, the VIX closed right around 38.5, its highest level since March 2023. If you guys remember, that was the regional banking crisis. Okay, not only that, what was interesting about it is it had a 15-point upward move in a day. One of the steepest increases literally in history. Well, let's go ahead and see what that means. The first thing you want to know is when the SIBO, the volatility index, the VIX, closes at 38.5 or above. You go back to 1990. Oh, beautiful, beautiful chart. It has closed above 38.5 239 times. Okay, so that's a big data set. Here's what's so interesting and why you want to print this out. Stick it on your refrigerator, maybe put it on your buddy's car. 3 months later, the S&P 500 is up 6.6%. The NASDAQ is up 15%. 12 months later, the S&P is up 31% on average. The NASDAQ's up 53% on average. 2 years later, guys, you want to be buying when everybody is rushing for the exit. Go against the crowd. 2 years later, 24 months later, S&P is up 47.5%. The NASDAQ is up 86%. Now, we should just close the video here, but there is more to this. We are not going to let the bears off the hook. So that steep increase that I told you, 15-point climb in the VIX. Okay, check this out. Forward returns when the VIX gains 15 points or more in a day. It's only happened 5 times prior to Monday. It happened once in 2008, twice in the pandemic. Look at these returns. 3 months later, S&P's up 12%, NASDAQ's up 18%. 6 months later, S&P's up 19%, Nasdaq's up 31%. 12 months later, S&P is up 35%, Nasdaq's up 49%. 24 months later, holy moly, look at this. S&P is up 52%, the Nasdaq is up 69%. So what do you think you're supposed to be doing? Are you supposed to run and hide like the media tells you? Absolutely not. We were front and center Monday morning telling people to buy stocks. We gave them 3 awesome companies. One is a semiconductor name, another one is a healthcare name. It was just a beautiful time. And this is how you win with investing. Do not listen to the media. They're just there to distract you and scare you. You just need a money map. You guys have a great one. And remember, stay bullish during capitulation. It is one of the gifts that keep on giving.